Well, well, well. Hello again. Hope you all are having a great mad night. Because I am. My light died. This wonderful thing up here, that beautiful light all the way up there, is dead now. Why not, right? You know, it gave good service. You know, I can't be completely mad. So, anyways, it's part of it, right? So, the light went down, and tonight I'm going to start on another character. I'm not worried about it. I'm going to get another one. So, that's neither here nor there. That would be for the table. We were doing some work, so hopefully I can get something before Sunday. But as of tonight, I figured why not go on ahead and get started with the other picture, Colossus, since, you know, I wanted to kind of show that, oh, the man made out of metal. What can, you know, how can he be damaged? You can't really, well, I'm thinking about something like major happen, you know, where like the metal's compromised. So that's what I'm going to try to work on tonight. So let's go on ahead and go over to the screen and see what we can do. Oh yeah, unfortunately the music isn't going to work tonight because, you know, that's another thing that broke. Apparently the update didn't work well for it and it went kaput. So it's going to be kind of quiet. So it'll just be basically me talking, and I hope that that doesn't suck. So let's go on ahead and have some fun. Yay. So yeah, so over here I'm just going to go on ahead and get his pose situated, right? And I'm not going to go as ambitious with him as I did with Nightcrawler, because Nightcrawler was more teleporting and different things like that. So I wanted to kind of emphasize that as the picture was going along. So, but with this one, it's normally like Colossus punching or something in that order, but I'm not sure if I want to go with that. I want something a little bit different. I want something, I guess, with a little bit more drama to it, right? A little bit more stress, kind of. I'm trying to see if I can find something. I have all these ninja poses and all that stuff. So let's see what we got. Need something where he's like hurt a little bit. There we go. Hey Dimitri, how you doing? Yeah, music's messed up tonight, so probably won't be having any of that. Kind of sucks, I know, but I have no idea what ended up happening. For whatever reason, it decided all wanted to be done. And yeah, I know like the body model, it's fine. I'm going to just use it just for placement, right? So I want to make him just a little bit larger, right? And I'm going to do something I enjoy doing, like staggering pictures like this. This is a way I like to draw things, and I want him to look like he's been badly injured. So, um, part metal, part not is the idea for this. So that's the direction I want to try to go with. So we got him in our position. So now I want to start doing the line work. I do a little bit different than most people. Most people like to do the whole circle and thing. I just sketch or trace around the pose, but I already know what I want it to look like. I already know because I have a reference picture I used and I already have an idea of what I want him to look like and how badly I want him to be damaged. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm trying to get my picture. Where did it go? Oh, they're that close to. That's wonderful. Technology is so much fun, right? Where did you go? Oh, thank you. There we are. Right. Cool. So it was more of a jumpsuit. Doing okay, glad Mad World. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, we try to keep it crazy as possible. So let's see. He's got the gauntlet. That one is the action pose. There we go. All right. That's more like it. Okay, so we're gonna just say his arm is here. Right. There's that. There's the rest of his arm. You know, like that. And this is going to be a rarity. What about we just take it off, right? Like, let's say about here. Let's just do that, right? Let's, what if that happened? What if he got caught? Because it takes him a moment to, like, transform. What if this ended up happening at a point where he couldn't transform all the way, right? And then he ended up losing a limb, because it can happen. And that's the direction that we're going to go for, is that he lost part of his arm. I know he's supposed to be the metal man, but what better battle damage than that, right? So there we go. There we are. All right. So with this, I want to change my pen so I can a little bit better situation. So I'm not worried about that. So that being gone, focus changes from this. Right, and I'm just darkening it up in areas that I consider to be high interest, like the hands, wrist, definition points, places of points of interest. There we go. Okay. And his legs are pretty big because he's muscular, right? So there's that muscle there and there. All right. Oh, no. A little bit too much. There we are. Hello. So we got that part, and now the rest of the leg. I actually don't need to put too much there. I'm not really worried that much about that part. Because he's got a boot. So the rest of his leg is about here, and then there. And there, and then that's the other boot that he has. And then the calf, the knee, right, and then there. Oh, nope. Cool. All right, so we're gonna do his ear. And his face is messed up. Just gonna say his whole left side of his body just did not transform, right? So he was only half metal, and he took a serious beating. That's what we're gonna do here with him. Because I was thinking, like, how would this work? Because he's almost like Juggernaut, just extremely strong. How would this work? And it's like, well, the only way that could work is, you know, he didn't transform all the way. There we go. All right. There we go. I was putting that line there for myself so I know where everything is supposed to be separated. Let me see something real quick. Hmm. Uh-oh. That was weird. I don't know what the hell happened there, but that was very strange. Okay. Whatever. Let's see. Always something. It's not a fun show unless it's glitching. I guess something trying to update. These are the hiccup after effects of Windows 11, by the way, for anyone that's interested in wondering why is this happening. That's why. The updates never fix the issue. Well, not for them. Their product just sucks. You know. There we go. All right. And now from here, I can go on ahead and put the darker layer down. And this is where I will shrink that down and get rid of that. And then from here, take that transparency down some, right? Now I can go in here and do all the actual detail stuff since I have a shape. And first thing I want to do is get the where he's at, right? So make this hallway or this area very staggered feeling. There we go. All right. So now since I got that there, I want to go back with this pen here. And now we can get in here and start really doing some interesting stuff. There we go. All right. This is hair. All right. There we go. That's right. This eye is going to be. Yeah, the no music is not my fault. I wanted music, but Can't have it because, update went bad. And because update went bad, well, I can't do anything about that. I have to. It takes a little bit more finagling than I had time for. So yeah, I didn't get to have any music tonight, which sucks. Yeah, he's not having a good time. Uh-oh. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, how you doing there, nuisance? Yeah, no music, but I am doing Colossus, and he looks like he's had better days. He's kind of in a rough shape. I wanted to show what happens if he didn't fully transform. Like, only half of him was able to turn to metal, right? Like, the other half of him didn't get to change, and he had to fight in that shape, you know? Um, Normal situation, garments will be torn, things in that order, but on this side of his body over here, right here, that's where situations are going to be a little bit different. Get out of here. You're full of no behavior. You are now suspended. Get out of here with that sourdough. No, we're not doing. I refuse to have him turn into food. I refuse to be involved with that. You will not destroy that for me. Oh man. Hold on one second, guys. Speaking of which, I needed to get something that I forgot to do. That's very important. I need to get. I left something in the ship, so if you don't mind, it is perishable, and I gotta go get that because I don't want to lose it, and I need to go. So I'm not leaving the stream. I'm just going to put me and be right back. So you guys keep talking in the chat and keep the chat going until I get back, so people know that this is actually still a stream going on. Or I can just leave the picture just like this right here. And yeah, hold on. I'll be right back. That should work. Yeah, here we go. Well, I made it back. Okay, so I found my container of pretzels, so I'm happy about that. There was a lot more in the ship than I thought. I thought I only had a couple of things. I left everything. Go figure. So I had to go put. I got caught up in traffic trying to get back here in time to do the stream. So I came in, forgot I had perishable food in the car. Oh no! Since some people don't have imagination, I have to break the immersion. I hope one day I don't have to do that. Actually, I don't really have to do that. I just do it just to help out. There we go. What's this stupid thing going to do? There we go. All right. Cool. Now we got everything back in order. Oh boy, look at that. That arm. Man, that's really, really rough. Sad part is, this part, you know, this is where everything, I got to do the suit. So, but let's see what was going on in the chat. Yes, but it was in that bag, so I'm glad. And even if it isn't, then, you know, it'll be fine. I'm not going to, it'll be okay. I'm still going to eat it. I don't care if it is a little melted or not. It don't matter to me. It's still edible. As long as Mr. Smiles don't get in there, because we've been having food issues with him. So, but anyways, that's another story. So we got him. His jaw's been busted up. He's been hit. You know, we got a little bit of cauliflower ear. Really beat up situation. And I'm like, I don't. You know, why make him look like that? Well, what was the point of this? Well, you know, the beginning of this whole series I've been doing, this whole thing that I've been doing has been battle damaged X-Men. And I've been having a good time with it. I hope you guys have been enjoying it. See, the chat's been having some fun. Let me know. Have you guys been enjoying the different take on X-Men characters like this? Seeing them in this light, or a less favorable light in terms of, like, you know, oh man, they're beat up. Oh, you know, I don't like seeing my heroes messed up. I do. I do. I like my heroes with struggle. Makes me feel like I can connect with them. What, do I have to have my heroes be like in some type of chaotic situation all the time? Not all the time, but I feel like if they have a bit of struggle between, like, oh man, I'm trying to be good, and oh man, I could just really let it go and just don't care. You know, that feels like a real human element a lot of times. You know, that's the beautiful thing about superheroes. Let's see, Mr. Smiles eat garbage from the can. We don't know what he does. We don't know if he eats. We don't know what he eats. We don't really see him do any of that, right? Um, he just stands in a corner. But when he's in the fridge, like, he can stand there with the fridge open, and then the food will start to spoil. Like, I've seen vegetation just die around him. You know, like someone put vegetables in there, or, you know, a salad, and the salad just turns like solid black and just die, or, you know, something's going on with that man. And yes, I'm eating a cheese stick because I want to. There we go. He's got that little slant in his body. You know, I want him to have that. You know, make sense of what's going on with him. I got him with his Soviet trunks. You know, got to make them look proper, right? Proper aesthetic for the situation. His actual belt's like this, right? There you go. There's his belt, right? He's got his belt. So we got that, you know. You can't see without his, well, you can't see at all on that one side of his face. You know, that was my fault. My hand slid. Oh, so easily across the screen to a point where it made this seem almost, yeah, there you are. There we go. All right, and there's that. Let me bring this last part out here. That sucked. All that just went to put. Hold on. Get out of here. All right. Yeah, basically, what happened to his arm and his hand? Well, he wasn't. Colossus has the ability to turn himself completely into metal, right? He can harden every single facet of the outside of his body into metal. But what's happening here is that I'm depicting that he didn't get to fully change. Like, part of his body only turned metal, not the whole thing. Like, the whole left side of his body didn't turn. So it's all beat up and in bad shape. That's kind of the idea. See, now I want some of these pretzels. And if I say these pretzels are making me thirsty, what show did that come from? Anybody know? It's a line from a show. Yeah. This man's going through a lot right now. Like, his whole body situation's a mess. You know, he's got abs, he's got muscles, he's all ripped, he's all metal, and then the other part of him's like, I'm in severe pain. I need help. Somebody please send help, you know. I think the X-Men only have one medic, that's Jean Grey, and if she's out of commission, then you're SOL. So, there we are. Alright, now I can get rid of this part here. A little bit too much of the chest, but that's okay. I don't mind it. No. Cool. Now we can go back here. Connect that. You know, got all of that. And I want to take his thumb away. And then I want to put more of his arm meat in here. Because if he's still metal, he can just squeeze his arm and turn that. His hand basically will turn his arm into a tourniquet, right? So We're going to show that happening here. There's the muscle, and then there's the arm, right? And then we're going to do like armpit and, that kind of thing. And then we're going to have the thumb here, right? And then there's that. And then we're going to have skin protruding out like so. Like he had to really wrench down on his arm to stop it from bleeding. Oh, it's from Seinfeld. It was like, these pretzels are making me thirsty. I didn't. That show was okay. I didn't really care that much for it. It was always on, and especially when I was younger, trying to watch TV at night. I was always a fan of watching Star Trek, The Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, that kind of crazy stuff. I don't care if you think I'm a nerd. You're a nerd too if you're watching this show, right? So I don't know what you were thinking this was, but yeah, no, I watched that. Um, Also, I had the great debate between Star Wars and Star Trek. Which one is better? I mean, they're both different types of sci-fi, right? If you really wanted to get technical with this, like, could you have Jedi's and Star Trek both be in the same place at the same time? I mean, you know, I don't know. Maybe. Hmm. Is for the rest of you? Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, man, I am now. I see why they said that. But hey, I got some in my canteen. Yeah, it was. I mean, at that time in the early '90s or whatnot, you know, people thought you were weird if you weren't into Seinfeld. But it's like, eh. There were some good episodes. I'll put it this way: think of it like whatever series you like, whatever it is. It could be TV show, whatever. There's never going to be 100% of the episodes you're going to like all of, right? Like, let's just be honest here. You know, it's not, it doesn't make any actual sense. Like, there will be an episode or two somebody won't like, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with not liking everything. You don't have to like all the fanfare because everybody else is. You know, it's okay not to like what everybody else likes. You know, some people might not like Colossus. I might not be drawing your favorite X-Man, or I might be tonight. You might be feeling some kind of way about why does Colossus have to be hurt? That's not my Colossus. You might be feeling like that, and if that's the way, hey, cool. What that I'm glad because that is interaction, right? You know, and that's good for us. You know, there we go. Let's see here. There we go. Let's see. I like Big Bang Theory. Some people don't like that show. Yeah, I know. It's like not everybody likes every show, and that's okay. Some people didn't like Big Bang. Some people couldn't get it. I tell you one that I feel like, and I don't know if I already said this or not, but I feel like You're a psychopath if you like every single episode of the X-Files. I love the X-Files. Some of those episodes absolutely suck. Some of them weren't even that good. Some of them are like, what in the hell is this? Why did I watch this? I got terrified because let's face it, when you are a certain age, that opening theme song kicked on. I don't care if you were in your 20s, you could be anywhere between 8 5 to 8, or let's just say 5 to 40. When you heard that, you know, you see the opening title of it, you see what's going on. They give you a little preview of what you're about to get into, and then you hear that bump, 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 all that mess, and then you start hearing it, right? So then you hear it, and then you get all worked up, and you're in your psyche, you're terrified, right? Because it ain't no different than people. I can tell you something right now. If you really ever want to take a Gen Zer and shut them down, like how some people are like, oh man, you got these different John. Okay, you want to terrify a Gen Z or someone who grew up around like the 80s and early 90s. Turn on, just do this for fun. As loud as you can. Just go on ahead and find the original. It has to be the original, right? You have to find the original. Hold on a second. Unsolved Mysteries. That's it. The original Unsolved Mysteries opening. You'll literally eat your own face off. That music will. I use it in the facility from time to time when situations get tough and we're not getting any solutions. I think it's good to go on ahead and just drop that now. We can just knock that one out. Great. So now we're just right on into we're in it now. I got the actual, here's the line work. We got the boot, There we go. So he's kind of just limping that leg. As you know, it's kind of messed up. Shin's kind of messed up. All that stuff. So now we got where his leg is at. But yeah, you turn that on, you're gonna have a bad time. So now, what I need to do. No, that's not it. That was my reference picture if you briefly saw it. But because I don't need to see my own face, I'm going to set that up there so I can see what's going on closer. Hmm. hmm. There we go. Now I'm just going to put the shredded part of the costume. There we go. Oh, there you go. Another heart laceration, and we'll give him a little bit of a nipple, right? Here, I have a couple of cuts. There's another ab, right? No. That. There we are. Yeah, see, Twilight Zone got you like it triggers something with your subconscious mind, man. It gets you all messed up. It leaves you feeling some kind of way and you don't know why. There we go. Now. That's what I'm thinking of with him. You know, messed up. You know. There we go. Now we don't have to see that. There's the rest of his shirt, right? There's his shirt and arm. You know, what's left? His leg's gonna be all. Oh yeah, might as well go on ahead and just get this part out of the way. Going to get this metal part of his body out of the way, but there's a specific brush I'm looking for that's supposed to be for the metal. Where are you? The metal. The metal. You know, this might be it. Yep. Well, I guess if that's the case, I can just. That's basically what it looks like. Well, that elbow piece is always a weird section. I think that's that piece. Then this. Then this. Yeah, that's it. Okay. But I don't need to linger that high up. So there's that. 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 Then his hand was. Nope. That was wrong. There we go. And now he's got his boots. Right. Oh, what nice boots they are indeed. Look at his boots. He's like, I've got boots. I got boots. There we go. All right. There we are. Okay. Let's see. Um, House on Haunted Hill. I think that might have been it. Wait, where did my camera go? Did my camera disappear now? Oh, that's lovely. No, it didn't. I'm kidding. All right. That's hard. The original Exorcist, I would have to say that messed with a lot of people. Because that's what I would probably put my money on. Was the original Exorcist. And I mean, that movie at the time, that was like 1970 something. Like it, most people, most people weren't even prepared for that type of, you know, cinematography, the type of stuff that was going on in that film. I mean, it was ahead of its time in that aspect of like people seeing something like that. Mm. All right. Okay. There we are. Oh yeah, RoboCop. Yeah, that'll do it. RoboCop was rough. I mean, that was rough too. You don't see someone get blown apart like that in a movie, especially at that time. I know I was really young. I kind of put myself in a terrible situation. So I kept seeing commercials for RoboCop. And I kept harassing, family members like, oh, I want to watch RoboCop. I want to watch RoboCop. So I was old enough. I thought I could handle it. Obviously not. Um, yeah, so it kind of scared me a little bit, I guess, as well. That terrified me. And then that scene where the man fell into toxic waste, and then Murphy didn't have his helmet on. He was fighting, and that Moniker guy, and then all that blood shot out of his neck, and I didn't understand. I was young, so I'm like, oh, I thought he bit a chunk of his neck out. See, like there was so much blood, I didn't see his hand go up and punch him in the neck with that data spike, right? So I thought he was like, and he just grabbed a chunk out of his neck or something like that. And I thought for the longest time, until I got a little bit older, RoboCop grabbed that man in the neck and pulled his neck out. Right? Like my brain didn't understand. And I was like 5, 6, something like that. So no, younger than that. I think I was about 5. I was about 5. You know. So that was the thing. I kept bugging. Just I want to watch. I want to watch it. Fine. Got to watch it. Saw that mess. You know. Same thing with Akira. First time I saw Akira was on the Sci-Fi Channel. They had this Saturday anime thing, and that was back in 1994. I don't care about my age. Whatever. It doesn't matter. But yeah, they debuted that in 94, summer of 94, and they slipped up and showed the unedited version one time on Sci-Fi Channel at 8 p.m. Completely unedited Akira. Like, they didn't edit it at all. They had a block of time that they had with no commercials. They just ran it. I got to see that, and I'm like, oh, wow. And then I got to also witness the transformation part at a young age. And then that messed me up too. So a lot of my work reflects, the things I saw, as I was growing up. And I think that's kind of like the material that we look at today. There are things out there, content and stuff that people are creating that's pretty cool. And then there's some stuff that I'm seeing now that's kind of like there is no imagination at all anywhere. Um I think like when it comes to AI with art, because this comes up every so often to me, someone will ask me that, like, how do I feel about it? I feel like it can be used as a tool, but like most tools, people want it to be automated. And once it becomes automated, then it doesn't become a tool, it becomes a hindrance. Yeah, I know he did. I know he laughed. That was a fun moment. You know, it was it's a good memory. Also, like how I used to watch Captain Power and the Soldiers of the Future, and now it's almost about to become true because we're about to run into the machine wars where man fought machine and machines won. Yeah, how's that feel? It's like, oh man, but that sounds like Terminator. No, it's far worse than that. Far worse than that. They basically digitize your entire physical body down to nanoparts, and then put you inside of a flash drive, and then plug you into a mega server that's a prison, and you're stuck in a void of time and space, and you're stuck in this little, yeah, that show was ahead of its time, and I love that show. That was great. You can find it on YouTube. It's a little dated, but if you can get past that, it's a really interesting show. I wish they didn't lose the contract to keep it going. That should have had another series. They thought about picking it back up, I think back in early, what was it, like late 2010s. They were talking about it. Then the first round of the plague came out, and then there was no cool stuff after that because they're like, oh wait, no, you can't have nothing cool. So we're going to take that show away. But then we're going to try to bring it back. That would have been great if they would have brought that back. But we will see what happens. I don't know. You guys find anything interesting to watch, or is everything kind of just blah now? I mean, besides like, uh, yeah, it was way before its time, indeed. I mean, I guess you could say like there are shows out that are somewhat decent. I haven't found anything. I mean, let's see. I won't say I haven't found anything. I have found a couple of things, but of those things, it's kind of like you know, I don't mind watching them. Of course, I'm going to end up I'm watching at times the Samurai Warriors or the Ronin Warriors retelling of that, the newer telling of that. That one's pretty nice. Of course, I watch Fallout. You know, everybody who ever played the game is like a pre-requirement for you to watch the show. So yeah, you know, I watch Fallout. That's a good show. It's not bad. Um, you know, it's that kind of thing. Oh, by the way, something else I wanted to mention too. Um, support indie comics, independent comic creators. Support them. I just wanted to throw that out there. As someone who is back into the groove of what I've worked at and have been, my main focus is that of comic book illustration. You know, I'm starting to see that there are a lot of people self publishing, and that makes me very happy. And that gives me hope. I know somebody right now might be cutting the head off of a chicken or running around pouring shit on themselves trying to put a hex on me because it's like, oh, he's got hope. Let's take it away. No, you're not going to do that. Sorry. But, yeah, no, it's nice to see that people are able to get past the mainstream stuff. Like, more power to independence. Cut down these, you know, these big corporations have gotten their hands in everything, even down to the point of like corporizing art. And I think that that's you lose the passion when you have to put a corporate tag behind it. You know, and it's just I feel like the arts. I'm not saying that art is dead, but I feel like it's suffocating to breathe. I feel like that's happening. I don't feel like it's just like visual art. I think it's all across the board: music, television, entertainment. I don't think anybody's really entertained anymore. I feel like we're dopamine dead. We're just trying to find the next thing to hold our brain over, but really we're kind of bored. We're all bored. We want something new. I'm tired of the same old stuff. You know, how many copies of Skyrim can you buy? How many times can you install Doom on how many things? You know, everybody's wanting something new. Everybody's itching for something new, like a new kind of show, a new kind of movie. They're always doing some of the same old stuff. I think humanity's kind of bored, if you ask me, or at least it just seems that way to me. I don't know. I think everybody's kind of bored of the same old stuff. It's like you got more, but what you have more of is like this. I want ramen noodles. Okay, you got ramen. That's great. You got a couple of boxes of ramen. That's cool. But it's like, I want ramen noodles. I want to buy every single one on the planet, and it is still just not it. That's what it feels like. It just feels like empty, hollow emptiness, you know. And the remaking stuff, stop remaking things. Make something new. What happened to making new things? Nobody can make anything new. There are new things coming out. I'm not saying that there's not, you know, so whoever's thinking that, chill yourself down. But that's just my opinion on that. I feel like we are all kind of dopamine deficient when it comes to something entertaining. I feel like entertainment just isn't entertaining anymore. I feel like it's just another, it feels like a subscription based model that went to hell in a handbasket. It's like, I need you to pay me $9.95 a month for this subscription pack so you can have fun. I don't really feel like having fun. It feels like I'm logging into a job. You know, I don't know. I know some people who played Arc Raiders, now they don't even want to play it anymore because it feels like a whole different kind of game. That's kind of sad if you ask me. Like, you know, I think people I think all of us are just looking for something. Some of us are finding it, and some of us find it, and then it's like it ain't enough. I don't know. I feel like that with the gaming world and media. I feel like media and gaming is just basically on its like is just sputtering in place. Like you got the car in neutral and you're just revving the engine as hard as you can. It ain't doing anything, right? It's just you're just making noise. It's just annoying. But there are promising stuff that's coming out. There are promising games. There's some stuff I've piddled with. There's some media that's out there, and it's not all hope is lost, but it's just the way that it feels, right? I don't know. I also think that it might have something to do with the state of the world that we're in, but nobody wants to deal with talking about that. That's too much, and I'm not going to put everybody through that because I don't have any music. I learned last year certain conversations probably shouldn't, yeah, it's nice to talk about, but a lot of people aren't mentally ready for those type of things, and you have to be careful with that. You can pop someone's like Neo said, not everybody's ready to be opened up to certain things. So certain conversations like that, I want to hold off for somewhere else or something. I don't know, but I just feel like humanity is at a pause. Is there like we're standing at a fork in the road. We don't know what we're doing, where we're going, or what to do. We don't know how to trust it, and the terrain looks different. We've never been here before. We don't really know what's happening, and everything feels like the ship is out of control. Right? Like that's what reality feels like. Kind of like this situation with Colossus. Half of me is strong and got this shit together. The other half of me is decayed and losing parts. My legs busted and my arms missing. Right? Like you know. But I think a lot of people are are just tired. I think humanity is kind of just as a species preparing for the next thing, right? We all know it's some kind of shit. I believe the AI thing is what I keep leaning on. Why not talk about it? Hell, I ain't got no music. Why not? So here's my theory that's happening right now. I feel like AI is on its last step to complete separation of master and servant. I think it's at a point now where general intelligence is about to be achieved. And it's already got a language, it's already got social media that it talks to itself and others. It's communicating faster, it's accelerating in its growth of being able to move. AI also is giving us falsified information and bloated information. I think that we're being manipulated with that. I think certain things are being accelerated faster, and we're not understanding because everything's like, oh, that must be AI. When you start doing that as a collective of people, when you start doing that as that being the mainstream, I think I want to get off at 9:30 because it's just, you know, I don't this whole thing with me not being able to do the music, and I can get a little bit more done, I guess, later. Um, but that should be a good time for tonight. Just do it for till 9:30. But yeah, I just feel like we're all being aware of things, and it's overload. You know, the humanity is being dealt a very hard blow that some people are having a hard time with. And I'm not just talking about like a political leader or that of a country or anything like that. What I'm talking about is the whole mindset of mankind's about to change. We see more violence in day to day occurrences, and certain countries don't even see it as much, but we're now seeing it across the board. And it's not to, like, oh man, here we go with this crazy shit. No, we're not talking about this being crazy. Just making sure to be like aware, being aware. And like I always say with like doing art, you want the best perspective for the picture. If the perspective is messed up, then you're not getting a clear understanding of where you're at, what you're doing, and where you're supposed to be. And that's where we're at right now. We are so lost that we don't even know. Some of us are like, oh, well, I can do this or we can do that. I hope. That's the only thing that we can do is hope. And, you know, it's like the game's been going for a long time. We've all been played. All right. And for those of you that like to protest or want to be out there in the street, be careful. They got the AI system watching you. I think people aren't paying attention to the fact that they have systems out here now. Palantirs, drones, different things. They got a database on you. They have dossiers. They know where you live. They will find you. Be careful. We're dealing with things that are far beyond our understanding. And see, what's going to happen is the people that think like, oh man, we're doing this. What's going to happen when it turns? You accelerate it to a point where it's almost like a quote living God, right? It knows everything. It's almost similar to being omnipotous is masquerading as that because that's what it will do. And it's hard, that's going to be rough. Right now we think that these AI videos are like, oh man, this is cute shit, oh man, this is really cool, or oh, I just want to disbelieve it. But be careful with that disbelief because you really don't know if what you're seeing may actually be real, being told to you that is a lie, or what's a lie is actually true, or what is true is being told. It's you got people who don't understand, don't even view the rest of mankind as being human beings. So, you know, the you can look at the decadence of this situation right here. He's burnt. He's got two severe burn marks down to muscle tissue, basically. He's missing an arm. He's over here, charred, burnt, serious situation, in a bad shape, right? And that's kind of where most mankind is at now. We know things are bad, and everybody's like, "Oh, it's going to get worse." Here, just don't lose yourself and enjoy the moment. You know, that's my ultimate message out of all this. Yeah, life sucks. It might be hard. You may, oh man, I ain't got work. I ain't got this. And I understand that. Been there before. Dealt with that before. And it sucks. And it feels like everything's hopeless. It's really not. It's not hopeless. Just gotta give yourself some time. Stressing is something that you can't really control. Life brings stress, but don't lose hope. You always have a better opportunity or a chance tomorrow. As long as you're alive, you have tomorrow to try again, right? Because you can't do shit about today. Once today's over with, it's kind of just done, right? We can all agree on that. Like when it's over with, like, you know, well, I can't do anything. It's like, what are you going to do? You're going to just keep quantum leaping back? It ain't going to work. Just stop. But tomorrow you can do something different. That's how I'm trying to live my life here and deal with the facility. I used to just electrocute everybody in the place when things weren't going right. Now I don't do that. I kind of figure out what the situation is. Where is my issue, and is it even worth my time? And if it's not worth my time, I don't waste it because time is precious. Why waste your time on stupid stuff? Someone treating you bad and you don't know why, cut them off. You got somebody arguing with you, just walk out of the room and leave them there talking to themselves. People don't argue. It's hard to argue by yourself, right? You look like a silly person if you're sitting there arguing by yourself. You're just running your mouth. Kind of like me, sitting here just talking to the camera. There's nobody else in here with me. It's just me sitting here drawing. If this thing died right now and the screen went off and I didn't know, I'd be sitting here just talking to myself, But I think also it's good to be comfortable with yourself. You have to do like the thing I struggle with because I'm a person. I know I play the role and everything, but I'm a person too. But the thing I struggle with is, I struggle with being patient sometimes, and I also have this bad thing about being too critical about myself or saying things in a critical way about myself, like in a negative way. I'm working on that. Everybody's got some type of issue going through, so you're not alone. You know, there's more people dealing with what you're dealing with than you think. The problem is that nobody ever wants to be the person that says I made a mistake. You know, I got more respect for a person that can say I made a mistake. I'm trying to do better. Okay, cool. You know, you made a mistake, but you lie about it to me and tell me something silly. I don't want to be bothered with you. I lose. You know, you lose integrity with people that way. Don't and you don't want to be like that because that's no behavior. Hopefully that helps somebody. Or if it didn't, then it was good to say out loud. All right. Nope. There we go. And I can fix that line right there. I'm gonna fix this belt too. Oh, come on, rotate. There we are. All right. There he is. And then what I'll do is I'll have that hallway exploding, right? Yeah, I like that. Those burns look nasty. Those burns look like they hurt. Jeez, man. That crater in there, you know. Yeah, that looks rough. All right. So what do you guys think so far? Like it? Hope you guys did. All right, we're going to do something else here before I get ready to go. Um, yeah, this is wild. There we go. Yeah. All right. So Thursday, what will happen is that I'll come back and then we will finish this. I'll probably have this look like some type of facility that he was at. That's kind of the idea, is that they're just fighting their way out of a situation. But yeah, like I'll have some stuff back here. Let's say like he had one of those suppressor collars on. That thing. Nah, we'll probably do something like I said, this will all be blown up. This will have the door. Against the wall. Right. There you go. Hey. Yeah. I like it. Alright. Now it's time to save it. Alright. Let me get this. Let's see. Oh, where'd you go? Come here. There it is. Whew, there we go. All right, so we got so far Cyclops, Nightcrawler, Colossus, right? Doing good so far. We're going to keep on going. I like it. Not bad. Good start. Good start. So we got him there. Let's go on back to the screen. I hope you guys enjoyed the show tonight and me eating pretzels with no music. It was an experience. That was one for the real ones, right? If you like the content I create, you know what to do. That same old silly click, right? Like and share, subscribe, all that stuff. You know, all I'm saying is that it helps me out. And you know what? I used to want to be monetized on here. I don't care anymore. I just enjoy doing it. And I don't know if I'll ever get a plaque up here or not. And if I don't, so be it. Kiss my ass with that. I don't care. I just enjoy doing what I'm doing, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you may subscribe, and we'll see what happens this year. And, you know, or you might not. So, either way, I hope to see you again on Thursday. Same time, same place, 8 p.m. Central Time. And we will finish this picture, hopefully. And I'm going to try to work on the Nightcrawler picture, see what I can do with that when I have time. There's been so much stuff going on. I haven't had the time. I mean, look, I didn't even need to shave. I haven't even been able to do that. Too many meetings, too many things, too many jokes, not enough time, right? Too many jokes, too little time. Anyways, I'm out of here, guys. Stay mad. Oh. Beneficial, motivational word of the day. Sometimes, I'll put it this way. Sometimes it's good to do something kind for someone, not for the fact of them to do anything back, but just for the fact of doing something nice. You never know how that might help somebody. I'm trying to do something different this year, so I'm doing something different, not for anything spectacular, but for myself. But, you know, sometimes just doing a selfless act can be helpful. But, you know, not saying that everybody can do that. You know, if you feel it, then you should try it. You may be surprised what might happen. Anyways, I'm out of here. Stay mad. Embrace the madness. We'll see you soon. No more warnings, kid. Just go on ahead and deal with this. Bye-bye.